Ever thought the healthy nuts you munch on might actually be clouding your mind right now as you listen? And what if a tiny tweak in your pantry could sharpen your focus for years to come? Honestly, I don't usually lay it on this thick, but seeing my own father's struggle lit a fire under me. Stick with me, because I'm about to spill the beans on a simple morning habit that's helping countless seniors get their mental edge back, a secret the big food companies would rather you didn't stumble upon. Here's a truth bomb that almost nobody shouts from the rooftops. As the years pile on, our bodies just don't handle food the same way. Especially nuts. That handful of nuts that was your power snack in your 40s or 50s. It could be creating issues now that you're in your 60s, 70s, or even older. This isn't about sudden allergies. It's a quiet, internal shift in our body's chemistry, especially in how we process certain fats and compounds hidden in some nuts. Solid research on this has been trickling out for years, but it's not flashy enough for headlines. Why? Because there's no big money in telling you not to buy something. The health food aisle wants you to grab everything. But I'm telling you straight, for seniors, picking the right nuts is a game changer for your brain, your heart, and how well you live out your years. What you're about to hear turned things around for my family, and I genuinely believe it can for you or someone you care about. Let me tell you, about 3 years back, Dad started slipping. Little things, keys vanishing, names on the tip of his tongue. We brushed it off. He was 73. Senior moments, right? Then one morning he stared blankly at the coffee maker, a ritual he'd mastered for half a century. That's when the alarm bells went off. Doctors did their tests, mumbled about normal cognitive decline, and mostly offered pills with side effects that sounded scarier than the fog itself. I just couldn't stomach the idea that this brilliant, vibrant man was fated to fade away. So I went digging deep. I connected with longevity docs and neurologists operating outside the usual pill for every ill system. What I unearthed about how certain foods, especially nuts, his supposed heart-healthy staple, can fuel brain inflammation was a shocker. Alright, here's the deal: not all nuts are your brain's buddies. Some can actually put the brakes on your thinking power as you get older, thanks to their specific fat makeup and their tendency to stir up inflammation. First up, the one to watch: cashews. Sure, they're tasty, but cashews pack a surprising carb punch for a nut. In older folks whose ability to handle sugar isn't what it used to be, this can mean blood sugar spikes. Think of it like a roller coaster for your brain: energy up, then crash, leaving you foggy. Plus, cashews have these things called oxalates. For some, especially over 65, when our internal cleaning crew isn't as spry, oxalates can spark inflammation. And that inflammation isn't just a gut feeling, it can travel even to your brain, making those just getting older moments more frequent. But losing yourself, there's nothing just about that. Next, and this might raise an eyebrow: peanuts. Yeah, technically they're legumes, not tree nuts, but for seniors aiming for a sharp mind, they're tricky. Peanuts are often home to aflatoxins, tiny toxins from molds that can grow on them. As we age, our bodies get worse at kicking these toxins out so they can build up and stress the brain. Studies link long-term exposure to fuzzy thinking, especially if your immune system is already working overtime. Beyond that, peanuts have an out-of-whack omega-3 to omega-6 fat ratio leaning towards inflammation. For an aging brain already battling some inflammation, a daily peanut habit can be like adding fuel to a smoldering fire. I saw Dad munching peanuts, his healthy snack, while struggling with his grandkids' names. The dots connected themselves. Third on the handle with care list: Brazil nuts with a big butt. They're selenium superheroes, fantastic for your brain, but it's easy to overdo it. Just 2 can give you all the selenium you need. If you're eating handfuls, you could be heading for selenium overload. Symptoms: feeling sick, irritable, and in bad cases, nerve issues that look a lot like early dementia. I've seen seniors load up on Brazil nuts, thinking they're doing good, and unknowingly causing problems. The memory blips and mood swings are confusing because who suspects the healthy nut? And the fourth nut to be wary of, possibly the most surprising standard: non-organic almonds. Almonds themselves are great. The issue is how most big brand almonds are grown and processed, often with chemicals and fumigation. Older bodies, with their less efficient detox systems, can struggle to clear these residues. Neurologists are even talking about toxic load syndrome, where these built-up toxins mess with brain function. Our brain's natural shield, the blood-brain barrier, gets a bit more porous with age, giving these toxins an easier ride. Plus, conventional farming often means these almonds have more of those inflammatory omega-6 fats. When Dad switched from regular to organic, truly raw almonds as part of his brain plan, we saw him get sharper in weeks. His doctors were stumped. Now, let's flip the script. When Dad cut out these trouble-making nuts and brought in the 4 brain-boosting powerhouses I'm about to share, things happened that doctors said couldn't. The fog started to lift, memory slip-ups got rarer, his spark, his personality began to shine through again. The doctor who'd shrugged it off as just aging was speechless at his improved cognitive tests 6 months later. But we knew. We tapped into what cutting-edge brain science is just starting to shout about. Specific foods have specific jobs for the aging brain. Smart swaps can literally reroute your cognitive future. This isn't magic. It's about giving your changing body exactly what it needs and dodging what throws a wrench in the works. What's wild is that a lot of this new science echoes what ancient healers knew ages ago. Traditional Chinese medicine, for example, had specific nuts they'd give elders for shen. Basically, mental sharpness and vitality. The nuts they picked, they line up almost perfectly with what modern research shows for anti-inflammatory and brain-boosting nutrients. Ayurveda in India had similar wisdom, categorizing nuts by their effects on the aging body, and again, their picks for brain health are spot on with today's findings. It's like our ancestors just anew. This blend of old wisdom and new science is the bedrock of what I'm sharing, and it's what helped Dad get his mind back when mainstream medicine had thrown in the towel. So, let me introduce your brain's new best friend. Nut number 1 for anyone over 60 worried about staying sharp: walnuts. They even look like little brains, don't they? Nature's hint. Walnuts are champions of alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3. This stuff is special. It can get past the brain's defenses to nourish it directly, helping build new connections, even in older brains we once thought were pretty much set in stone. UCLA did a big study showing walnut eaters did better on brain tests, period. Plus, walnuts are packed with antioxidants that fight off the damage in brain cells that speeds up as we age. When Dad started eating just 7 walnuts a day, his words came easier and he remembered more. Science says it wasn't just luck. Nut number 2 that needs a spot in every senior's pantry: pecans. Often in the shadow of fancier nuts, pecans have unique antioxidants called proanthocyanidins that are like a personal security detail for aging brain cells. They seem to love brain tissue, shielding it from the oxidative stress that dulls our thinking. What's extra good for seniors? Pecans are loaded with vitamin E, which becomes super critical for brain health after 65. Tons of studies show that getting enough vitamin E helps keep your mind sharp as you age, yet most seniors don't get enough. Pecans also have good fats that help blood flow, which is like the brain's grocery delivery service. When Dad added a small handful of pecans to his morning walnuts, his neurologist was surprised by how much quicker his thinking got. Third on our brain-boosting team: pistachios. These cool green nuts have compounds that are amazing for your blood vessels, and healthy pipes are key for a healthy brain. The mix of antioxidants, B vitamins, and plant goodies in pistachios keeps those tiny brain blood vessels in top shape. As we age, these vessels can get damaged, leading to less blood flow and those silent mini strokes that chip away at our smarts. Eating pistachios regularly is linked to better cholesterol and more flexible blood vessels, getting blood right where the brain needs it. Plus, pistachios have lutein and zeaxanthin. You hear about them for eyes, but they're great for brains too. Brain-eye is super connected, and the 4th pillar of our brain-boosting strategy may be the most unsung hero in Western diets: the humble pine nut. Tiny but mighty, these have been treasured in traditional medicine for ages, specifically for keeping minds sharp long-term. Science is now nodding along. Pine nuts have a rare fat called pinolenic acid that's a master at calming inflammation. For seniors, whose brains tend to get more inflamed with age, this is huge. They also give you a good dose of manganese, vital for the little power plants, mitochondria, in your brain cells. These power plants naturally slow down with age, but good nutrition can pump the brakes on that decline. When Dad added just a tablespoon of pine nuts daily, his energy and mental staying power noticeably improved. He could focus longer without that brain drain. Okay, here's the simple morning routine that turned Dad's brain health around. Anyone can do this. It's not fancy, and that's the beauty of it. The best changes are the ones you can actually stick with. Every morning, he takes 1 tablespoon each of freshly ground walnuts, pecans, pistachios, and pine nuts. We call it his Fantastic 4 brain mix. He stirs this into plain organic yogurt, adds a teaspoon of good quality honey, raw and local is best, and a little sprinkle of Ceylon cinnamon, which also has brain-boosting cred. This simple mix feeds his aging brain exactly what it needs: fights inflammation, builds new connections, protects what's there, and gets blood flowing. The yogurt's good bacteria help his gut, and a happy gut means a happy brain. They're totally connected. Takes less than 3 minutes, but the benefits roll all day: steady energy, better recall, stable mood, and slowly, the return of brain functions we thought were gone for good. I want you to get the why behind this, because knowing why makes it stick. These nuts work together. First, they all bring different antioxidants to the party, fighting off that free radical damage that really picks up speed in older brains. Second, they provide the right kinds of fats, the actual building blocks for brain cells, and the protective coating around nerves, which can wear down with age. Third, they have compounds that cool down brain inflammation, a major driver of cognitive decline. Fourth, they support healthy blood vessels in the brain, making sure it gets all the oxygen and nutrients it needs. And fifth, they contain stuff shown to boost neuroplasticity, the brain's amazing ability to rewire itself and learn, which we now know we keep throughout life if we give it the right support. It's a full court press against brain aging. This is more than just studies, though the science backs it up. The real win was seeing Dad come back to us. 6 months in, he called me buzzing. He dreamt in vivid detail about his childhood. Thought those memories were toast, he said, his voice thick with emotion. They were just waiting. 3 months after that, he remembered all his grandkids' birthdays info that was a blank a year before. At his next checkup, his doctor was so floored by the improvement, he wanted our secret. When we told him, he was skeptical, but the test didn't lie. Whatever you're doing, he finally said, don't stop. Now, 2 years on, Dad runs a brain health group, sharing his story and these tips. The man who couldn't make coffee now devours medical journals on brain health. It's pretty shocking how society just accepts cognitive decline. We've made memory loss and confusion a normal part of aging, like it's a tax for living long. That kind of thinking doesn't help anyone, except maybe industries that thrive on decline. The real story from the cutting edge of brain science is way more hopeful. A lot of cognitive decline can be prevented, and sometimes even partly reversed, with smart food choices and lifestyle tweaks. Sure, genes and life history play a part, but our brain's ability to adapt and heal with the right fuel stays strong, even late in life. This isn't about denying diseases like Alzheimer's. It's about realizing we have more power than we think over how our brains age. Dad's journey proves that just accepting decline is a massive disservice when something as simple as changing your daily nuts can make a world of difference. Let's get practical, because ideas without action are just ideas. Quality is king. Go organic if you can, especially for walnuts and pecans. They get sprayed a lot. Freshness matters too. The good oils in nuts are delicate. They go bad with heat, light, and air. Buy small amounts, store them airtight in the fridge, and freeze what you won't use in a month. Activating them by soaking 6 hours in filtered water makes nutrients easier for your body to grab, especially good for seniors whose digestion might be slowing. Grinding them right before you eat keeps all the goodness in and makes them easier to digest. A cheap coffee grinder, just for nuts, works great. And finally, a little bit every day is way better than a lot sometimes. Before we move on, let's bust some myths. 1. All nuts are the same? Nope. As we've seen, different nuts do very different things to an aging brain. 2. Raw is always better than roasted. Not always. Light roasting can make some nutrients easier to absorb. Just avoid the super hot commercial roasting. 3. Organic only matters for produce, not nuts. Wrong. Nuts soak up pesticides like sponges because of their oils. Organic is much better for your brain. 4. Nut allergies mean I'm out of luck. Not necessarily. Allergy to one nut doesn't mean allergy to all, especially from different plant families. 5. This food stuff is against doctors. Absolutely not. This supports good medical care. If you have cognitive concerns, work with your doctor and use smart nutrition. What makes these food changes so potent is how they target the aging brain's specific weak spots. As we get older, things shift. Our brain's protective barrier gets leakier, letting in more toxins. Our cells' energy factories slow down. Production of acetylcholine, key for memory, drops. Brain inflammation ramps up, and our brain tissue gets more vulnerable to damage while making more of the damaging free radicals. Each good nut we talked about tackles these issues. Walnuts, ALA shores up brain cell walls. Pecans, unique antioxidants zap specific brain damaging free radicals. Pistachios keep brain blood flow healthy. And pine nuts bring anti-inflammatory muscle to cool down the fires that speed up decline. It's cool to see that cultures where people stay sharp into old age often eat these exact nuts. Mediterranean folks big on walnuts have amazing cognitive health late in life. In parts of China, where pine nuts are longevity food, same story. Native American groups who traditionally ate pecans had elders known for clear minds. This isn't just coincidence, it's real-world proof that these foods are protective. Science is just catching up to what tradition knew. Beyond Dad's morning yogurt mix, how else can you get these brain boosters in? If yogurt's not your thing, blend the ground nut mix into a smoothie with berries and more brain food, and almond or oat milk. or stir it into oatmeal with cinnamon and blueberries. Sprinkle a tablespoon or two over salads for crunch, flavor, and brain power. Some folks make energy bites, ground nuts, a bit of honey, cinnamon, maybe dried cherries. The goal is to find ways you enjoy eating them, because consistency is everything. Now, while nuts are our focus, they're part of a bigger picture for brain health. Their benefits get supercharged by moving your body regularly, gets blood to the brain. Good sleep, brains clean up, and memory filing timed. Managing stress, cortisol is bad news for brain cells. Learning new things keeps your brain nimbled. And staying social exercises different brain parts. Dad's amazing turnaround wasn't just the nuts, it was putting those nuts into a whole brain healthy lifestyle. The nuts were essential fuel, but the whole approach let his brain use that fuel best. As you start trying this, be patient. Brain health doesn't flip overnight. Decline is usually slow, and so is improvement. Maybe keep a simple journal. How's your word recall? Focus, energy, mood, sleep. This helps you see what's working. Some see changes in weeks. For others it might be 3-6 months. It depends on so many things. Patience and just keeping at it are your best friends here. As we wrap up, here's the biggest lesson from our family's journey. You have more say than you've been told. The old story, brain decline is just what happens, is a self-fulfilling trap. It's not true, it's just convenient for systems that aren't set up to help us optimize our aging brains. The truth is, you can influence your brain's path. Something as simple as choosing your nuts can start a cascade of good changes. Dad's story isn't a miracle, it's what happens when you ditch the doom and gloom and make smart choices based on real science and age-old wisdom. Let me leave you with this: your brain, no matter your age, is always listening to how you treat it. Until his last breath, Dad's brain will keep adapting to what he feeds it, good or bad. Same for you, same for everyone you love. That adaptability never totally vanishes, it just needs more precise, consistent TLC as we age. The 4 to avoid cashews, peanuts, too many Brazil nuts, and conventional almonds can be inflammatory, toxic burdens. The 4 to embrace walnuts, pecans, pistachios, pine nuts are like a specific support crew for neural health, taming inflammation, fighting damage, and boosting blood flow. This isn't just trivia, it's a powerful toolkit. What you do every day shapes your brain's destiny. When Dad makes his nut mix, he's not just making breakfast. He's choosing his mind for tomorrow, for next year. You have that choice right now. What will it be? Before you click away, really let this sink in you. You've got power here. Cognitive decline isn't a done deal. It's shaped by daily choices, and nutrition is a big one. If you're worried about your brain or a loved one's, remember doing beats just knowing. Don't just watch this. Take one small step. Maybe it's clearing cashews from the cupboard or adding 7 walnuts to breakfast tomorrow. Healing and protecting your brain happens one day, one meal, one nut at a time. Your brain is tuned into every choice. Choose to feed it well with purpose consistently, giving it what it truly needs as you age. The gap between a struggling mind and a clear one often boils down to these small but mighty biochemical decisions. Your future brain is being built today. Choose with what you now know.